Good evening, my beautiful collection of broken angels and restless wolves. Oh yes, I see you out there. Faces carved by fire, eyes that have tasted betrayal, hands still shaking from the last war you survived. Welcome. Tonight, we speak not as victims of their games, but as the architects of the next eruption. They went against you based on nothing, not truth, not proof, not reality, but pure, unfiltered bullshit. Lies so fragile a whisper could have shattered them, yet they carried those lies like weapons, as if smoke could cut through steel. They tried to chain you with shadows. They built their case out of cardboard, their arguments stitched together with gossip, envy, and fear. And yet, they believed it would hold. They believed that if they pointed enough trembling fingers at you, the crowd would howl, and you'd crumble under their laughter. But they didn't calculate one thing. You're not powered by their approval. You're fueled by the storm. And then, when they moved against you, when the mob threw stones carved from nothing but falsehood, what happened? All hell erupted. The air itself tore open. The ground cracked beneath their arrogance. The crowd that thought they were spectators suddenly realized they were prisoners in your chaos. They wanted your silence, but what they got was your uprising. Understand this, my dear monsters. Weak men always weaponize lies, because truth is too heavy for their fragile spines. They mask their cowardice in accusations, in rumors, in fantasies. But when you stand tall in the middle of their storm, unblinking, unbroken, laughing, something terrifying awakens. Their little illusions burn, their scripts collapse, and they realize they weren't the hunters, they were the prey all along. Let me tell you what they never expected. They never expected your rage to be righteous. They never expected your silence to be strategic. They never expected your scars to be armor. They thought they could break you by hurling fiction at your reality. But when you walked back into that room, when you raised your voice, or even when you said nothing at all, every single lie they piled against you turned into TNT, stacked at their own feet. And when the match was struck, boom, all hell erupted, not around you, but inside them. I want you to picture it. Their eyes wide, their voices shaking, their little thrones of deception collapsing into dust. The people who swore you were finished suddenly choking on their own smoke. The crowd that was laughing at you yesterday now scrambling for safety as their false empire turns to ash. They went against you based on bullshit, and you gave them something real. A reckoning. Here's the truth no one dares to tell you. Power isn't in being clean. Power isn't in being flawless. Power is in surviving the mud, crawling through it, rising from it, while they're still gagging on the stench of their own lies. They underestimated you because they thought you needed fairness. They thought you needed justice. But no, what you needed was betrayal, because betrayal carved you into a weapon they can't control. And let me remind you of this, if they went against you based on lies, it's not because you were weak, it's because you were a threat. They only manufacture stories about people they fear. They only scream monster at the ones they secretly know are kings and queens in disguise. They wanted you erased. Instead, you became unforgettable. They wanted to bury you. Instead, you became the earthquake. They wanted to burn you. Instead, you became the fire itself. So what now? Now you walk differently. You laugh louder. You sit in the ashes of their collapse and sharpen your smile like a blade. Because you know something they never will. They went against you with fiction. You struck back with reality. And reality always wins. So the next time they whisper, the next time they point, The next time they gather their trembling courage to challenge you with paper weapons, remember this: you don't have to fight for respect anymore. You are the eruption. To everyone listening, stop begging for fairness in a world addicted to lies. Stop kneeling before judges who build their thrones on illusions. If they want war, give them chaos. If they want fire, give them an inferno. If they want to twist your name, burn their dictionary and write your own. Because once they've seen you survive what they threw at you, once they've seen you laugh in the face of their theater, they'll never forget the day all hell erupted. Not because they destroyed you, but because their bullshit lit the match, and you were the explosion. Good evening, my wolves. Now rise, burn the stage, tear the script. Let them choke on their lies while you stand in the smoke, smiling. But let me tell you something darker. When they went against you, when they spat their venom, twisted their tongues, and wrapped their filth around your name, it wasn't just lies, no. It was a confession of fear. You see, cowards can't attack reality. It's too heavy. It crushes them. So what do? They build paper swords. They forge glass shields. They whisper fiction loud enough that it drowns out their own trembling hearts. Every false word they spat at you was proof that you towered over them. And yet, oh, this is my favorite part, they thought the crowd would believe them. And maybe some did. Maybe some clapped. Maybe some laughed. Maybe some looked at you with disgust. But every single one of them felt that little tremor inside. The tremor that says, wait, what if they're lying? What if this beast they're trying to bury is the one we should fear? That tremor is your power. And so the eruption came. Not because you shouted, not because you begged for truth, but because truth explodes silently. It doesn't need applause, it doesn't need agreement. It simply tears through the fabric of illusion like a knife through silk. Suddenly they're choking on their own smoke. Suddenly their friends don't trust them. Suddenly, the very stage they built to humiliate you is collapsing beneath their feet. They went against you on bullshit, and you became the mirror. And when they looked into it, they saw themselves naked, pathetic, trembling, desperate. And oh, how they hated that reflection. You want to know why all hell erupted? Because hell was always inside you. You kept it chained, locked, restrained. But their lies were the key. They freed the monster they thought they could cage. And once unleashed, you didn't just fight, you devoured. Every whisper turned into a scream. Every smirk melted into panic. Every accusation became fuel for your rise. They tried to curse you, but the curse became your crown. Now listen carefully, because this is the part that burns. The reason they hate you isn't because you failed. It's because you refused to die where they buried you. They saw you crushed. They saw you stabbed with words, drowned in mockery, smothered in fiction. And when the dust cleared, they saw you still standing, stronger, louder, hungrier. Do you understand the humiliation you've given them? You survived their best shot. And nothing terrifies an enemy more than realizing we already threw everything we had, and it wasn't enough. So let them call you monster. Let them call you villain. Let them scream, "You're dangerous!" Because yes, you are. Dangerous to their illusions, dangerous to their comfort, dangerous to every fragile little lie they built their world on. They went against you with garbage, and you answered with thunder. They spat fiction, and you roared reality. And in that collision, only one side could survive. Spoiler alert, it wasn't them. And now, here's the part they'll never recover from. People saw it. Oh yes, the audience that thought you were finished, the ones who chuckled, the ones who believed the script. When the eruption came, they felt it. They saw the flames, they heard the cracks, and deep in their souls they knew. You can't cage a storm. Some of them will deny it, some of them will pretend they didn't witness it. But trust me, in the midnight silence, when their mind replays the day you rose, they'll shiver. They'll whisper your name in fear. Because once hell erupts, once you turn their lies into fire, the world never forgets. So tonight, wear their lies like trophies. Stack their insults like bricks to build your throne. Walk with that grin carved in defiance, because you don't just survive storms. You are the storm. And the next time they ask, how did it happen? How did one soul tear apart so many? Don't give them an explanation. Don't give them a defense.